Greetings, family. It's Empress D in my favorite space, nature. Look, it's just, you can hear it. I know you can hear it, family. This is such a nice spot. And I don't always come. I come to this park like every day, but I don't always come to this spot. So I'm here. And every time I come, I'm like, oh my gosh, why don't you come here every day? Because it's so nice. I'm just such a creature of habit. I'm just used to doing the same loop. So I mindlessly walk, and so I usually just take the same route, but when I'm conscious, sometimes I come here and it's so nice here, family. So I hope everybody's good. Honestly, I hope everybody's good, right? And doing their thing to get themselves, good, right? Whatever you have to do to feel good. And that should not involve substances or the use of other people, right? A lot of times people use other people to feel good, to occupy themselves, to boost their ego. It's not good. We're not supposed to use other people, family, okay? To occupy our thoughts. No, we're not supposed to do that. So we're also not supposed to use substances to occupy our thoughts, right? Any type of substance, it doesn't matter what it is, we're not supposed to use that in place of being with our thoughts. We're not supposed to do that, family. And then the other thing that we're not supposed to do, there's so many things, right? Any vice you might have, you're not supposed to do that in place of being with your thoughts. Just put it that way. So each of us are different, and our vices are different, and the things that we do to occupy our space and time are different. But we got to do it. We got to kind of see, hey, we're using this to occupy being with ourselves. So instead of doing that, put it aside. Spend that time with yourself. Much more valuable to do that instead of engaging in that type of activity, right? Whether it be a substance or an activity. Yeah, it's better to take that time with yourself and use that time in a constructive manner, right? Whether you choose to exercise in that time or read, that kind of thing, right? Something that's going to benefit or value you. Something that your future self will say, hey, man, I'm glad you did that. That kind of thing, right, family? Anyway, briefly, I don't want to take too much of your time, family, but I want to talk about just actually being of sound mind, right? Unfortunately, in my walk on this planet, in my existence, I experience people who, instead of taking in the person I'm presenting myself to be, they have constructed in their mind who I am. And it's so interesting, right? And quite often, family, it's the people that have spent the most time with me. It's actually really interesting. The people that have spent the most time with me, and that's really like sinking in right now as I'm sharing, family, those people that have spent the most time with me are mostly the ones, and it's people that haven't spent as much time as well, but it's quite often the people that have spent the most time with me have constructed in their mind a version of me that doesn't exist, at least in my reality. So that's what timelines are. Oh my gosh, it's all coming to me right as I speak to you, family. So hear it like this. There's a version of me in other people's timeline that I am a conniving, malicious, and how should I put it to sum it up? Trying to set them up. There's somebody in this reality, people within this reality view me as somebody that's deliberately trying to set them up. And that's their lived reality, right? That's their lived reality. They live, breathe, eat, sleep, go to work every day, they live in their reality, the day-to-day life that they exist and live in that reality. Empress D, me, Melissa, Dor, You guys know my name. I'm that person. But in my reality, and in a lot of other people's reality, that's not the person that I am. Right? So what I'm saying, that there's different realities going on right now based on your perspective. That's what just dawned on me, and my heart is going dun 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 dun, because that's what makes timelines. When we talk about being on different timelines, that's what it is. It's your perspective. So, right. So depending on the timeline that you're on, is your perspective. There it is, in a nutshell. And I'm sorry if this is not resonating with many of you, but that's okay. I'm sorry. It's just coming to me as I'm speaking, family. So basically, you have to be careful that when you're in an interaction, even in a simple interaction, when you're dealing with another person, even a stranger, you have to be trying to really take in the information that they're presenting to you, as opposed to the preconceived idea that you have about this person, which you shouldn't have, right? We shouldn't have those. You have to take in the information that the person is giving you, regardless of how they're presenting, regardless if they are dirty and scuffy. You have to actually still listen to what they're saying before you count them out and just judge them as a dirty scruffy. If I hope I'm not going off on a tangent, but what I'm trying to say is that maybe you can't judge a book by its cover, but it's much more simple and regular than that. It's you have to take in the information that the person is actually presenting you, and not what you're judging in your mind. The other thing that I find that people do is, in order to live and cope with themselves, they make up certain realities in where they feel, where they can stay comfortable. Right? And I think that this is a common human reaction. I hope I don't sound like a lunatic, but these are just my observations, because what I find that I do is I like to observe human behavior when it's kind of like a thing that I do. And that's why I think that I was in the profession that I was, because in the healthcare field, being a nurse practitioner, I was able to observe human behavior and human outcomes if you do this. I was able to observe a lot, and I love doing that. And so, family, I've been ranting. Oh my gosh, thank you for listening. But to sum it up, family, I guess we have to really be able to absorb the words, facial cues, behaviors of the other person, and accept that as to what it is, and not make some preconceived notion in your mind based on your history, your programming. You have to take the person as they are, not what you think them to be. Maybe that sums it all up in a nutshell. I hope that does. Family, thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. But I feel like I have to drive home that people show you who you are, and it's through their actions and their behavior. It's all of the information that they send out to you that you can perceive about them, and you the same, right? Whatever your actions, your words, your perception, the way that you express yourself to the person. Oh, it's brighter here. Yeah. That gives them information to perceive how you are, right? I hope it makes sense, family. Anyway, I'm done rambling. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. I hope it's spring has sprung, family. We are in the new year where everything is going to start to bloom and blossom and start the new real year. Let's see what unfolds, family. I really feel as the new year emerges in 2025, because this is when, this is when the new year logically happens. I think we're in for some stuff. I think we're going to see some stuff. I think that 2025 is going to usher in a new reality, a new normal. Then maybe they'll start saying this is the new normal in a few weeks or months, family. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. I love and I value each and every one of you. One love.